Good Monday morning, everybody. This is Pastor Dean with Bascom Community Church. Thank you for joining me as we continue our series of devotions. You said yes. How do I start my new life with Jesus? Or as I like to paraphrase, you said yes. How do I restart my life with Jesus if you're not a newbie? We do have 5 scripture readings for today, but they're short. I promise you that. The first comes from Luke chapter 5, verses 15 and 16. Lord, bless this, the reading of your word. Yet the news about Jesus spread all the more, so that crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sicknesses. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Our second reading comes to us from Genesis chapter 2, verses 1, 2, and 3. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the 7th day, God had finished the work that he had been doing. So on the 7th day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. Our next, John chapter 4, verse 6. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired as he was from the journey, sat down by the well. It was about noon. Matthew chapter 8, verses 23 and 24. Then Jesus got into the boat, and his disciples followed him. Suddenly a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. Finally, Psalm 23, verses 1 through 6. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And that was the New International Version of that. But I really love the King James Version of it. I'm not the biggest King James Version of the Bible fan in the world, but what a beautiful piece of poetry in that version. So I'm going to read that one also. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Our devotion. Why does Jesus rest? So, do you ever feel anxious about everything going on during the week? I know I have that issue sometimes. Or do you wish you had more time for the people in your life? If so, you're in good company. Life often seems to demand for us to be busy. But Jesus invites us to a different and better way of living. And again, we're going to read Luke 15, 5, 15, and 16 again. Yet the news about him spread all the more, so that crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sicknesses. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. So we want to think about this passage and what it is saying, that people wanted to hear Jesus speak and they wanted to receive a healing. Yet Jesus chose to walk away so that he could rest. When he sacrificed productivity and opportunities to help others in order to rest, it was a good thing. And the question is why? We can only be as helpful as we are healthy. Again, let me repeat this. We can only be as helpful as we are healthy. So like Jesus, we can set boundaries with our time and purposely slow down. All humans need rest. And because Jesus was fully God and fully man while on earth, that limitation was true of him also. Rest is also worship. The Bible begins with an account of God creating the world, and the story uses a 7-day structure to describe God's work. On the 6th day, God created people, but the 7th day was a day of rest. So why is that important? It's because humanity's first full day on earth was a day of rest, not work. Throughout the Bible, the 7th day of the week is called the Sabbath. On that day, people are invited to worship by not doing work. But how is this worship? It's easy to forget this basic spiritual truth. God is in control, we're not. Let's review that one again. God is in control, we're not. When we forget, we tend to try to control our lives through work. We begin obsessing over our to-do list and worry about falling behind. And I must admit, I have that issue a lot in my life that I have to deal with. When we choose to make a break from our task and our to-do list, we're making a declaration that late task or unfolded laundry and unread emails don't threaten God's plan for the world. That's why the Sabbath, a time devoted to rest, is worship. You might work long hours and have people who depend on you, so don't feel guilty if you're not able to take a full day off each week to rest. Instead, find moments to rest when you can. And then try to find more moments to rest when you can. And try to eventually maybe put a goal of trying to get to where you can have that full day off. And maybe again, you've maybe got too much responsibility with family and other things you can't. But just do the best you can. Jesus always did the same. Once he was tired, he simply sat down by a well. And another time, as we read, he took a nap in a boat. Just find the time to rest when you can. Our challenge today is, so what about you? How might you add rest into each week, and how might you add rest into each day? And again, as we talk so much, we're disciples of Jesus Christ, and this has to be a discipline. It's not going to happen. As we read Friday about the temptation, one of the things Satan is going to come at you with constantly is that you've got too much to do. I know that's one thing that he uses on me virtually every day, that I don't have time in the morning to spend that hour that I like to spend with God before I do anything else, because I've got too much to do today to invest that time. So just understand that it takes discipline to do it, because our enemy isn't going to just let us spend that time with God and rest and reinvigorate ourselves so we can do battle better against him. All right, off the soapbox, God bless, and I will see you tomorrow morning.